You want to talk about spiritual awakenings? Honey, it's happening. The Magician card. Let's talk about it. The Magician card is something that I feel like a lot of people understand or they like to see in a tarot reading. When you see the Magician, it means that you're doing, you're juggling a lot of things at once. You're, taking care of this, you're taking care of that, you're using your resources, you are kind of, playing the game, you're getting into it. The truth about the Magician card though, however, the major arcana cards reflect real life, practically. And I think it reflects events. Okay, so they don't always have to go in order, but when you see those cards, it's reflecting a real aspect of growth, even if it's something negative, like quote unquote the Tower card or something like that. So the Magician understands the importance of using the resources and or people around them to maximize their growth. This also is not really talked about as far as the Magician understands that they have to play their role. The Magician is called the Magician because it morphs into what it needs to be in certain dynamics. So in other words, the Magician, if it's people around them or resources around them, the Magician understands that the best thing that they can possibly do is to know who does what and how to be what they need to be for the situation. So they don't step on anybody else's toes. They do their part. They look and watch and see if the people around them or the resources around them are doing what they need to do. And with that happening, magic is created because everyone's playing their part. Everyone is, pulling together to create this synergy. People see the Magician as a one-person show, but it really is about the full connectivity of that person and everybody around them. The resources. People think resources are just your wand and water and crystals. Like, resources can be a multitude of things, but it also could be the people around you that surround you to create that magic and to make things happen. So for an example, let's say that you are an actress, right? So as an actress, you would be the talent. You're the person that gets on stage, or you get behind the camera and you do your thing. And that's your role. Now, as the Magician, you're going to learn that if you're coming up in the business, you're going to need an agent, you're going to need a manager, you're going to need a makeup artist or something like that, or PR maybe. So as the Magician, you may figure out how to pull strings to make that happen so that people can do the things that you may not know how to do or you're not the best at, so that you can focus on yourself. The Magician is a card that really talks about using your resources. So resources also means your mind. So if you're not learning, or if you're not constantly trying to outdo yourself, your magic becomes weak. So if you've already learned to be the best at something, a real Magician will always be the student, meaning that they'll always try to learn more. They'll always try to see what else is out there and how to use that for their craft. Now, because the words that we use are so mystical and so, they've been really pimped out throughout time, people look at the Magician and feel like it's all potions and things like that. But really, the Magician is using everyday things, including knowledge, including time, including energy, including tradition, including nature, to create their reality. Meaning, once a Magician knows what it wants, it knows that there's things that have to happen, and there's ways and behaviors and practices that have to keep going, that have to be repetitive in order for that to build. So if you're trying to do everything all at once, your magic is going to be weak, meaning what you're able to create is going to be very weak. Now, if you're able to look at yourself as a Magician and say, hey, I'm the Magician, but I'm not good at everything. Maybe I should have someone do this for me. Maybe I should learn how to do, sit back a little bit. Maybe I should learn to censor myself. Maybe I need to learn more. Maybe I need to do more research. That's what the Magician is. The Magician is about learning, truth seeking. The Magician understands the importance of being the student of life, not of a person, but of life. And that's huge. When you can get to that realization that every day that you wake up is a lesson in some sort of way. If you're not learning, you're not living. And that's something that I've always reminded myself, because I like to learn about new things, but it comes in all shapes and forms and, situations. And sometimes it's easy, especially once you start to get older, it's really hard to grasp the fact that you're still a student in certain ways. But life will sit you down and show you. So the Magician understands the importance of being receptive to information and using it to benefit itself. And depending on the type of person or what the project is, if that person values the people around them, it'll benefit them as well, because everybody's getting a piece of the pie. And that's magic. When people can see your reality thrive, it's because they're probably thriving with you. And that's what the magic is. So that's my understanding up until this point. I feel like this may be a part 2 type of video, because as I learn, I have to update some of the meanings of the cards that I've been learning. So yeah, this may be a part 2 or whatever, but here's the Magician card. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy these type of videos, make sure you check out the playlist. Okay, the playlist is labeled Food for Thoughts. With that being said, I love each and every one of you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.